Good evening, everybody. You can't see him, but Dracus Knox has submitted a script, and he was actually here in studio very briefly, and then left. I don't know what
He needs to get
happened.
his ass back on here.
He does need to get his ass back on here.
He absolutely needs to get his ass back on here.
Yeah. So I got scripts that lately I haven't been asking for, but people have been sending them to me. This happens sometimes, particularly in the wake of like a credit. If you get a producer credit, people will go, "Hey, pal." It's like the opening to Pride and Prejudice. It goes without saying that a producer in possession of money must be in want of a script. Like here, I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's producers love reading scripts. That's
Yes.
why they never hire people to go through them.
Right.
So they don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't mind. So, but I got one script recently, and this was from a connection I knew, in comic book circles, like we would do a lot of shows together. And he was like, "Hey, I know this guy who wrote this cool thing, and he movies, and and the sales thing he gives me is like this script is almost all together, like all the pieces fall into place, everybody loves it, all we're missing is you, and then we can make this thing." And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And now I'm in kind of a new place. Like I haven't been necessarily in this place creatively where someone's coming to me like, here's a vision, all we need. Well, I guess I have in like comic books, but in movies it was a little new. So I like to work from what is familiar along my process. So this guy was like, let's get on a Zoom. You could talk to the writer, director, producer. And I'm like, send me the script and let me read the script. So just a couple of days ago, I started reading the script around the time that my friend was like, hey, when are we going to get on the Zoom with the guy? But I don't want to be someone who takes scripts that were submitted to him and puts them on his stream and says, this is poo-poo, don't do it. So I'm not going to do that. But I will say...
You're going to imply it.
Right. But this particular script from a person I'm not going to name, who was submitted from a person I'm not going to name, was not conventional. And when it comes to screenplays, there are conventions, such as, I know, like, when people submit scripts, I know I give them the convention thing, like, hey, that transition's supposed to be over, like the fade in. Like, fade in should be left justified. That you did fade out, fade in. Dracos, don't do that. Do a fade to, right? Stuff like that. This convention, and people are like, "Who cares?" It's like the feel of the thing, and it was one of those scripts. Like, who cares?
Oh,
it's
for
like,
fuck's sake. Okay, I'm going to say this now for all of you writers out there who think no one cares.
Right.
All right. Follow the damn convention. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
If you don't follow the convention, everyone who reads your script is going to see from page one that you're sloppy. And if you're sloppy with the basic bitch convention that basic bitch software does for you automatically, what else are you going to be sloppy?
And that was part of it. Is like, all right,
it does not sell you as a person worth working with.
Right. Like okay, like we had slug line, carriage return, action line, and I'm like, there should be a double space there, right? Double space after slug. Right, like I don't even think of that. Like the software does it. Whenever I go, slug line return, like it just goes there. I'm like, how did you even get, like I'm like, and then my mind starts going to what software were you even writing this in that wasn't double spacing after the slug line,
Microsoft Word.
Yeah, like this was written in Microsoft Word.
I use Microsoft Word for a ton of screenwriting. I have a template. It works.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. This was now I'm starting to look at the script like, okay, he wrote this in Microsoft Word, no template. But the thing is, like, there was a lot of slug lines because, like this guy came. I was reminded of Dan O'Bannon's Guide to Screenplay Writing, which I've referenced many times. I think it's an amazing book. But there's a line in there that Dan O'Bannon gives, which is producers think that screenwriting couldn't be all that damn hard if a screenwriter could do it. And this is one of those people who I think like came to screenwriting kind of late. Like they're already producer, they're already director, and they just started themselves like, why am I even paying that idiot? Any guy can just write words on the thing. So, like you end up with like, when they're coming from the producer director thing, like the slugs are numbered. And there's a lot
at
of
least the slugs are numbered.
Yeah. And there's a lot of shots, like, shot boom, 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 like it's very sophisticated directions for like the editing thing. But like the basics of like the doubles thing and there'll be cut twos in the action line, cut to, but I'm like, but that should be, so.
Well, is he also selling himself as a director? Like, is he
no, in this package world, he's also directing this movie.
Okay.
All he needs from you is your money for
exactly. All he needs from me is some cash.
Not particularly carefully constructed screenplay.
Yes.
So why would you give your money to what will likely be a not particularly carefully constructed film?
Yes, exactly.
Because
that's really all I want.
Again, writers, if you can't bother to do basic bitch shit that many pieces of software do for you, what else are you going to be sloppy about? Is a real question that real people are going to ask themselves.
Yes. So that's, I guess, what I wanted to say about the thing, Anyway.
Yeah, you're worth more than your money. So good job not selling yourself short, Preston.
Thank you. and people come, and I don't want to be like a wet blanket, but like,
no, dude, why would you spend your money on a thing that you don't believe it?
Right, I know, but
for real.
Yeah, but these end up being like very sophisticated like telemarketing calls, where it's like, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting, and I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, me too. Except the thing is, at the end of the Zoom meeting, I might give you money or I might not, but no one else is really gonna add much except asking me for it.
They're going to try really, really hard to sell it. Look, I just had a call like that today.
Okay.
With a producer. He's making a Western pretty close to me. So I was like, okay, I had a lot of fun on the last Western. Let's do some work, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he wants me to work for free. And it was that kind of Zoom meeting, him pitching himself.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool, buddy. Let me know when you got the project going on and we'll figure it out. But I like paying rent, so...
Yeah. And you'll never hear from him again.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's see.
Meanwhile, how's it going?
You know what? We haven't had. Welcome, Joseph, to
Hello.
our. Hello. All right. I have something that I'm very delighted to share with you. This is a tradition here on my writer stream. We've been doing this since 2019. I want to say.
All right. And I'm nervous and excited at the same time.
Fantastic. Have you ever done like these kind of writers workshops before?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, this is a tradition.
Oh, La Vigilante! It's been so long. I miss you, La Vigilante.
It's called La Vigilante. I don't know how many times we. Go ahead.
Did he write that in WordPad? I didn't even know WordPad still existed.
Yeah, it's perfectly good RTF editor.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Microsoft nixed that and.
No, they have to produce something that you can actually use that isn't Word, because you have to pay for Word, right?
Right.
So, when you install your operating system, there has to be something on it. So you end up with stuff like WordPad.
All right.
WordPad is not on my computer.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think you would have had to there's some way you can master delete an app. But unless you master deleted the app, then it's on there somewhere.
I heard Windows
I'm getting vivid flashbacks from film school here, by the way.
But anyway,
is this one of those scripts that is just so notoriously awful you have to share it with everybody that you know?
I mean, no. We read all the scripts that come in.
We do.
Okay.
And we also give perfectly straightforward feedback to all the scripts that come in. And we take all of them seriously. We really, really do.
And I don't want, because look, here's the thing, people care enough to write these things down and to put the time in. And, look, I've been there. And quite frankly, what I really wanted back when I was writing was just for somebody to read the damn thing, And that's why, I would happily go to these writers groups. But it's never fun when someone seeks to build themselves up, but just by saying your work is poop. you know. So I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be that. But you know, La Vigilante started, as do many, as from a guy who was new to the writing game, and it's, as you would have imagined, most people who were new to writing. You know, it needed some work, and he's submitted many versions and has gotten progressively. I want to say, would you say better, Danny? I think.
Yes, there are many ways in which it has improved.
Yeah, and he said so himself. He said, you know what, you guys made a huge difference, and that's really why we're here, is because
we're here to read it, and we're genuinely here to give constructive criticism.
Right. You know,
and you know, we all bring our own stuff, and we all take it too.
Yes, and I think, you know, people view it as kind of a grueling process, but when you're there selling your finished product to customers, often you feel like, you know what, this product was really better because I went through those extra steps. And
rewriting is hard. I'll say this. I just finished a round of grant applications.
Okay.
So like my 6th year applying for the same grant, I did get some money a couple of years ago.
Right. Okay.
This year's draft was way, way better than the other ones I did. Like something just finally clicked, and I was like, here's who I am as an artist. And I had like a really good, elegant way to say it. And like, I'm really confident in it this year. In a way where before it was just like, okay, what did I do before? What's different for this one? Like, you just got to keep rewriting until it works. That is the process.
Yes.
It's the part that you can't replace with a machine, is where you go to some place where you didn't expect, because you sat and actually struggled with the fucking thing for so damn long that eventually something comes out.
Not just shit out the first draft and say good enough.
Yeah.
And wonder why nobody likes it.
Yeah, this isn't client work. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is comic book script. Who would like to be?
Let's go. Page 1, panel 1. We start with a wide shot of the inside of a modern sushi bar.
Sure do.
There is a few customers. Yeah. We see our 3 ladies, Katrina, Carolina, and Mel, sitting at a table chatting over sushi.
I want to say, just because technical notes I'll forget, and you know, goes the line by line. But wouldn't it just be simpler to say Katrina, Carolina, and Mel sit at a table chatting over sushi?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
In an empty,
we wouldn't know if it's a modern sushi bar.
In a sparsely populated modern sushi bar.
Right.
No location tag. The name of the place can be seen above. Above what?
I don't know. Above them.
Sirenita Sushi Bar. The logo has a mermaid holding a beverage. Lol.
Right.
Okay. Panel 1. This one is a square panel. We see Katrina stuffing sushi into her mouth.
That's panel 2.
Yes, we do. Panel 3. This one is a rectangle panel. Next to panel 2, we zoom into Carolina and Mel. This is an effective word, just technical note. This is an effective use of the word zoom. Don't use it anyways. Just say what kind of shot it is.
Yeah.
Who's Katrina? John, be Katrina. Joseph, you're going to be Carolina. And Preston, you're going to be Mel.
Very well.
That's it for me.
Don't ditch us just yet.
Yeah, bitch. I just ordered another round of maki and limaritas.
Technical note. If Katrina's off screen, why doesn't she just say that that's it for her on the previous panel where she is?
That's a good question.
Panel 4. We now zoom out to capture Katrina, now standing ready to leave.
Thanks for the sushi, but I gotta roll.
If you had any sense, you would roll on over to Diego's and bang out the details of your promotion.
Panel 5. This is a square panel. We see Katrina's reaction. Okay, so that's nice, but what is the reaction?
That's up to the artist to interpret.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm clearly...
You're not a dictator, okay? You can't just you can't just rule over the story with an iron fist. You got to leave it up to interpretation for the artist.
Well, Katrina has a line.
Shut it.
Panel 6, this is a rectangle. Next to panel 5, we see Mel's and Carolina's side of the table. Mel is holding up her drink.
Hey, I'm just saying, you wouldn't be promoted unless he signed off on it.
Is that the guy you told me about?
Panel 7, this is a rectangle panel. We see Katrina walk away as Carolina gets one last word in.
Enough, okay? I got a busy morning. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye. At least send him a text.
All right. If every panel is starting with a shape, I'm going to start ignoring all of that.
Yeah, that's probably wisely.
Yeah. Page 2, panel 1, wide panel. Katrina cruises the streets of Red Neon District, nighttime, in her electric cycle that emits a blue hue from the motor. She is now wearing her all-black vigilante outfit, a red mask around her neck that she pulls over her face, and has a belt that she uses as a whip. Red Neon District is part of Cividad Santa Rosa, filled with nightlife attractions like bars, clubs, gaming center, farmers apostrophe, grocers apostrophe S, and concert halls. Relatively small buildings compared to the large high-rises littering the rest of the city. Like the rest of Cividad Santa Rosa, it has a cyberpunk aesthetic.
All
Red Neon District. Panel 2. Katrina is parked in a dark alley, and the rear carriage of her electric cycle transforms into a drone. Caption. Sure. Who's speaking? This is it. Let's hope this run goes better than my last. Can't keep letting these maniacs terrorize the public. So I guess Katrina is speaking in the caption?
Yes, I believe
if it's
she
a thought bubble, it probably should have been a thought bubble.
Possibly, yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It definitely should have been a thought bubble.
Yeah.
Panel 3, the drone is now airborne above Katrina as she equips her 2 retractable nightsticks onto her back.
Drone online, security cam initiated.
Ready for my headliner. I can see it now. Trafficker enforcers turned in by mystery badass.
360 AV live, encryption active.
Panel 4, wide panel. Katrina, mask now on, from the darkness of the alleyway is watching a couple of maniacos, gang members. Okay, dude, plurals do not use an apostrophe. Stop it.
That is true. Here, I'll solve it. Maniacos. There we go. Yeah, maniacos. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, same goes for gang members. I'm just gonna say it once, and then our author is going to fix his own damn writing.
There we go.
Loitering, the parking lot of Gringall's Sports Bar. No location tag needed. Maniaco 1 is a blonde man wearing a white hoodie and blue glasses with a noticeable cyber watch. JR is a tall raven-haired man with a cybernetic left eye. The theme is cyberpunk.
No crap.
Katrina listens in on Gypsy's audio feed. Gypsy now floating above the area. Maybe inlet panel, whatever that's supposed to mean, giving Gypsy the word bubbles of their convo.
My question is, how are we going to have a cyberpunk audio theme in our comic book?
That's the illustrator's problem. Don't do it.
Fair enough. All right.
I also
the
have
playlist at the a
Yeah.
QR code on the title. page
Yeah,
for
that's one
playlist.
way to do it. There we go.
Oh yeah, I've got a friend who did like a book with an AR app.
Okay, sure, we could do that. There we go.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like it.
surely. I mean, I've seen the preview art of this book. Surely it has the budget for an AR app.
There we go.
you don't mean his webcomic, do you?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Guys, stop.
I would
Yeah.
maybe inlet panel. Like, how about telling us what we see, not maybe what we see?
That would, yes, that would.
Again, it is up to interpretation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something I noticed. In fact, going all the way back to just some of John Lamont's early work, is it's like the writing was kind of suggesting, like, maybe we see this, maybe like, well, why don't you just tell us what we do see? Like, well, I don't want to like step on the artist's toes. I'm like, just tell them what you have to draw. You know, don't worry about offending anybody. Just tell them what to draw. You know, so,
That was the best advice I've seen was Robert Kirkland interview saying exactly that. Your whole job is just telling the artist what to draw.
right.
I have a
All right.
question, and it's
Yeah.
a newbie question, and you
All
guys are going to laugh, but I don't care.
Mhm.
Can someone please explain to me? I have never heard the term inlet panel before.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either.
Well,
I think he meant to say inset panel, but L is
Yeah.
really far away from S on the keyboard, so I don't
Yeah.
know how that happened.
There's also an R in insert, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Well, R is beside E and T, so that's acceptable.
There you go. But like whatever you want to call, typically like a panel placed inside another panel, like thing.
That's what we assume the author means.
Yes.
Since the author isn't here, we can't ask them.
Also true.
All right.
Yeah, Arthur.
It's time to deliver, dog. Don't let me down.
Who's going to be JR?
Joseph.
Chill. I've been working one all night. Here she comes.
Page 3. All right. Technical issue. It was a new page of art. Start a new page of your script.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Panel 1, 3/4 page panel of Gringold's Sports Bar and the parking lot with a couple of cars in front. The next 4 panels will be inlets. I think he's using inlet instead of inset.
What does inlet even mean? I'm going crazy. What is the definition?
Isn't it like
Siri, what does inlet mean?
Isn't it like a kind of river that goes in?
I believe so. I believe inlet. Yeah, typically refers
small
to
arm in the sea, a lake, or a river.
Yeah, a small arm. Yes.
Yeah. So it's
a place or means of entry.
Yeah.
I learned a new word today on this podcast. You guys said the script is bad.
There we go. No, I never.
We never said the script was bad. We haven't read it.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Panel 2, horizontal panel inlet. JR grabs a woman by the arm. Mari and Ceci, the 2 women being harassed. There are 2 women being harassed. There are 2 women being harassed. We just found out about that.
Yes.
Are standing next to each other. Mari has short brown hair with glasses, wearing a metallic colored jacket.
It's
over
French.
a short dress with sneakers. So one thing I do in these, Joseph, is I try and read all the words as written. This is different.
Right.
Also, it is a good habit to read all the words as written when you're reading aloud, because then you notice a whole bunch of errors.
Oh, yeah.
Ceci is heavy set and has long blue hair with a tank top of the local soccer team Las Amazonas and shorts.
I'm pretty sure that's CC. And yes, CC can be spelt that way.
Yeah, good to know.
Let go of
I'm
me.
assuming it's short for Cecile.
Oh, wait. I'm
So I'm gonna
Mariaco.
call
All
her
right, I'll be Mariaco 1 and Mary. So let go of me.
Hey, she's done for the night, okay?
But we got something going on. I feel it.
Panel 3. Square panel under panel 2. We change the perspective to Maniaco 1 overlooking the group as he steps in with a big cheesy smile.
Yeah, why don't you join us?
Panel 4. Square panel next to panel 3. We see Mari clearly intoxicated. Okay, how's someone going to draw that? And
The little
JR,
bubbles around her head.
Yeah,
there you
bubbles
go.
around her head, make her cross-eyed.
There you go.
And JR is still holding her arm as Ceci questions their motives.
Excuse me? We're not going anywhere with you.
You're missing the point here.
There is no screen, technical note. This is a comic. It occurs on pages.
She,
Okay,
panels.
I have
And
a question about that, like genuinely. Okay.
Okay.
So hold on.
Off panel.
Is off panel the acceptable term? Because I
Yeah.
say that all the time in my scripts.
Yes.
Yeah,
off
you do, and I yell at you for that for the same reason.
Sometimes it's better to have
some.
something off panel, and then you turn the page, and then you see what they're looking at.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, then
that's
maybe it's a good hook, and I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Panel 5, square next to panel 4. We can see the group as Maniaco 1 lifts his shirt and flashes his pistol. Right, this is not a John Monk script. Ceci reacts, including inlet panel of the pistols. So panel 5 is suddenly 2 panels? What?
I maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly. Yes.
No, this is not a maybe. This is definitely.
Yes.
This is
Panel
2.
5 is 2 panels.
Yeah, okay.
We got.
JR?
I'm not Junior.
Joseph is JR.
Oh my god. OMG, we'll do whatever you want.
There we go.
Panel 6. Katrina steps in as the group reacts to her interruption.
Hey, they've had enough. Let them go.
Who the fuck are you?
Panel
I'm your
7.
worst nightmare.
Same shot as the last panel. Katrina nonchalantly introduces herself with her mask on. You can change their stances and expressions. Change them from what?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. What does that even mean?
Also, who is you? No, I can't. I'm not your illustrator.
Yeah.
I'm here for the gangbang.
All right. Yo, I think it's her. The Cece.
Lady in black.
Guess the words out. Guess the words out. Time to make a statement.
Now, isn't that Katrina who's saying that?
I'm assuming so. It could be anyone else.
It could.
Maybe it's her coach. Maybe it's her
Maybe.
robot.
Maybe.
Maybe it's Maniaco 1.
Could be.
Okay, since no one tells us, it's just there.
All right. Rectangular panel.
Page 4. Oh God, 6 more of these. All right.
All right.
Rectangle. We see
Stop,
a progression
stop
of
interjecting
movement
commentary. Just read.
in the same
Yeah.
panel. Same parking lot night. Their shadows dance under the neon lights. Maniaco 1 rushes Katrina. She steps in, kicks Maniaco 1 in the abdomen, sending him reeling backwards.
Ugh.
Chick's got some kick to her.
Off panel. Very good.
Off panel.
Maniaco 2 releases Mari as she runs away with Ceci.
Run.
Maniaco 1 grips his gun on his waistline as JR approaches from behind.
Put that away. She ain't worth it. Besides, do you really want La Familia on us?
Inlet, Maniaco 1's gun. Sheen. Maniaco 1 turns to the ladies. I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell ladies. Running away.
Laddie.
Ladies.
They're getting
Maddie.
away.
Ladies.
They're getting away.
Fuck 'em, dog. I want this one. I like the tough ones. I like to see 'em break.
Oh boy.
Panel 6. Katrina takes her martial arts capoeira stance as JR is now within reach. JoJo camera angle from JR's back foot looking up towards Katrina.
Fancy moves.
Panel 7. Junior swings at Katrina a few times. She dodges. Who's Junior?
This guy.
That's JR.
Yeah, they are.
This same guy.
Oh, but it's JR with 2 capital letters.
There.
There we go. All right. Fine. Apparently my pedantry is not welcome today.
All right.
I'll tone it down then, Preston.
All right.
Panel 8. Katrina counters with a rising head kick, knocking JR backwards.
Hi-ya!
Ugh.
Panel 9. Junior swings again.
There we go. Fixed it.
JR swings again.
There we go.
Ugh.
Page 5. Panel 1. Same setting. Maniaco 1 screams into his watch.
Get out of here now.
The more, the sexier.
That line still doesn't work.
I mean,
7 revisions. That line still doesn't really work.
all right. Katrina has it's part of her character
Yeah, I know.
that she fights as though she were screwing, and hooray! I'm
Panel
never
2.
exactly sure why, but she does.
Yeah, I know.
You say it doesn't work, but when you see this panel on the Kickstarter promo page, it'll work like
you know
magic.
what?
That's going to be the draw.
It will. I have learned my lesson about estimating the audience on Kickstarter.
There you go.
There you go.
Which I should never do, either over or under. Panel 2, Katrina roundhouse kicks Junior, knocking him out cold and knocks his AI ball.
Prosthetic eyeball.
Oh, okay. Out of its socket into the air.
Whoosh.
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 If you're gonna make up words, I'm assuming if like AI ball is a made up word for his eye, just hyphenated or something.
Yes.
Or,
Make it
you know,
easier for
maybe
you.
tell the reader and not just your illustrators. That way more than one person sees it.
Well, I mean,
Also,
yeah.
I think we're missing the biggest point here. This guy having an AI eyeball, prosthetic eyeball. We're
Mhm.
learning this on page 5. What page was he introduced on?
Page 2.
He was introduced with a cybernetic eye
Yeah.
when he was first introduced.
There we
But
go.
honestly, you make a good point. Like, what the hell is AI ball, and what does that mean to the reader of the comic?
She knocks
so-
his prosthetic eyeball out of its socket. There.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, what does AI ball? That word doesn't mean anything to the reader of the comic.
It's for fluff.
Yes.
And as far as that goes, it is not inelegant.
Anyway, we have a whoosh.
Panel 3, Katrina
Whoosh.
catches the AI ball. Bzzzt.
I'll take that.
Wait, but she's on the panel. Why is she speaking off panel when she's on the panel?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe it's a close up of her hand grabbing the thing.
Well, maybe the art direction doesn't say that.
That is true.
Panel 4, triangle. What?
I
Okay,
don't
we're
know.
doing triangles.
This panel is a triangle.
Go.
Yeah.
Zoom in Maniaco 1's face.
You know, that's JR you just clocked.
Panel 5, also a triangle.
Also a triangle.
Zoom into Katrina's face.
Do I look like I care? Gypsy, catch.
Panel 6, square. Katrina tosses
There we
the
go.
AI ball to Gypsy as 2 other Maniacos appear. Swoop.
Retrieved.
Panel 7, wide shot. Yeah, but what shape is it, dude?
I
Katrina is pinned against a car as Maniaco 1 screams orders at the others.
Wait a minute. Wait, stop. Here she's tossing an AI ball to Gypsy, and here she's pinned. I guess by is he saying Maniaco 1 is pinning her against a car?
No.
Okay.
Maybe the girls pin her against the car. No, they ran away.
Oh, they ran away.
Maybe her bike pinned her against the car.
Could be. Like, why doesn't he just tell me Maniaco 1 pins her against the car?
Well, that's because that's not necessarily what's happening unless he tells us that.
I guess so. I
I have a question about this author, and I'm sorry if this is a little too personal,
Sure.
but I just want to know because I've seen stuff like this before. Is English their first language?
I think so. I believe so.
Never
John,
mind.
you know more than John. Is English his first language?
Why are you asking me?
We think possibly.
I believe so. Wasn't he the
believe
one that
so.
was writing the zombie script in New Mexico? Or
No,
somebody
that's someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's Draco, isn't it?
No, this is Draco.
This is
no,
not
this is
Draco.
not Draco. This is not Draco.
This
Draco
is
is.
Draco
Okay.
did the zombie script in New Mexico. This is not
This
Draco.
This is Xander.
Oh,
And
that's
John-
right. This is Xander. And you know what?
Yeah,
No,
And this might
Xander's the.
not be.
It may not be because I think Xander's the one that's on the other side of the country.
Okay.
Because he's the one that we don't give crap for not being here. Because I think he's on the other end of the globe.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah.
And to his credit, he has different, totally consistent spelling mistakes through every draft. So
Yeah.
he'll figure it out eventually.
He
Or
will.
maybe-
Hopefully.
Here's a quick note, by the way: when your copy of Google Docs or Microsoft Word underlines something in red, it means you spelt it wrong, and you should fix it.
That is also true. Yes.
Page 6, square. Sorry, squour. Katrina slams open her batons and begins her onslaught on all 3 of the Maniacos. Slam.
Lamb.
So he's using captions as thought bubbles and as sound effects.
Yes.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Well, he might not know that for sound effects you write SFX instead of writing caption.
Could be true. Yeah. I'll fix that.
You're gonna do that every time.
Yes. There we go. SFX. Slam.
Let's get the juices flowing.
Panel 2, small triangle. Zoom into the batons, smacking Maniaco 2.
All I know is it's building up to the pussy slam. And
Yeah,
I'm very
I know.
excited. It's very
Panel
exciting.
3,
All
small
right.
triangle completing a square with panel 2. Zoom into baton hitting an arm. Whose arm? Her own
Somebody's
arm? Crack.
Crack.
Panel 4, small triangle completing a square with the next panel. Sure. Zoom into baton hitting Maniaco 2 across the leg. Split. Panel 5, small triangle, zoom into a baton hitting Maniaco 1 across the back. Bust. I mean, that should be a chest shot if it's going to say bust.
Yes.
Panel 6, wide shot. Katrina stands over Maniaco 2 as the others. Who are the others?
Oh,
How
some
many
of-
others are there? Please tell me.
Yeah,
Stand further back.
we got it.
Oh,
Ugh.
damn it. It's broken.
What? How did Maniaco 3 get involved? He never got hit by anything.
She appeared anyway.
Yeah. Panel 7. Zoom into Katrina's face now spotted with blood.
Ah, yes.
Panel 8. Maniaco 1 realizes he's losing and grabs his gun.
She's dancing all over us, damn it. I'm wasting her.
Panel 9. A giant hand grabs her, who is her, by the hair as she recovers
La
her
Vigilante.
breath. It's La Bestia, a giant hulk of a man with a female pronoun, with cybernetic veins running down his arms. He has a blue mohawk and a pink neon leopard printed vest. Think cyberpunk Zangief from Street Fighter. Angle from behind Katrina as she stares down her scattered foes.
Come here, bitch.
Panel 10. Oh boy. Zoom in on Katrina's reaction as La Bestia grabs her hair. Page 7. Panel 1, wide shot. Katrina is thrown into a car. Gypsy hovering above. Maniacos is now on their feet. Maniaco 1 kneeling by Junior. La Bestia still in forward motion after tossing Katrina.
She's mine.
Panel 2, zoom in Katrina's face. She smirks menacingly as she looks down and away from La Bestia. She is now standing superimposed borderless on the page. Her face is in the square, body on display. How is this a zoom on her face?
That's a good question. We're going to leave that to the artist to figure out.
Panel 3, zoom in La Bestia's upper body. Okay. Superimposed borderless on the page as he zips towards Katrina. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Let's do one.
Superimposed on what? What do you mean by borderless? I'm so confused.
Anyway, that's just not going to work for me.
Zip. Panel 4. A rectangle split into 2 triangles. Panel 4 and 5. Fuck. Dude, is it panel 4 or is it panel 5? Pick one.
I don't know.
Katrina launches off the car. Humph.
I think what he's saying is panel 4 and 5 are 2 triangles. No, rectangle. It's a rectangle split into 2 triangles.
Rectangle split into 2 triangles.
I guess if you do a diagonal line across a rectangle.
Yes. No, I do understand what we're going for here.
Right. Yeah.
But you could just say panel 4 triangle, like right angle triangle.
Yeah.
And get on with your life.
Yes.
Panel 5.
Triangle.
Katrina flies as a. Okay, here's another thing about English grammar is that you never use an apostrophe when conjugating a verb.
Yes.
Towards La Bestia, aiming to land on his face.
Ooh, how about a snack?
Panel 6. Consecutive vertical full page. Dude, this is panel 6. How do you do full page anything?
How do you do a full page? Yeah.
Katrina wraps her legs around La Bestia's face and hammer strikes La Bestia. Also, how is this going to be consecutive vertical panels? Because it's only one panel.
Wait, what is she hammer striking him with?
Her fists, like it's fucking Star Trek.
I guess. Okay, possibly. Yeah, I could see that.
That's an MMA move where you overhand fist somebody. It's called a hammer fist.
There you go. All right.
We need La Bestia to get some lines. Panel 7, vertical panel. Katrina continues her onslaught with an exhilarating expression.
I hope you're not diabetic, because this thing is sweet.
Panel 8, vertical panel. La Bestia rips Katrina off him. Caption, grippy AF.
So she did the patented pussy slam.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did.
In only 8 panels.
It is her signature move.
It is her only move.
Yeah.
Page, what is this, 8?
8.
Okay, I can do this.
All right.
Katrina standing with her batons drawn. Maniaco 1 has Junior around his shoulder lifting him up. Isn't JR unconscious? How is JR lifting Maniaco 1 up?
I don't know.
Maniaco 2 and 3 are barely holding themselves up. Lebestia has his arms raised in his battle stance. Slam batons.
Get up, you fools! Grab her, JR. Wake up!
Panel 2. Zoom in on
he's
Maniaco 1.
unconscious. Maniaco 1 has Junior around Maniaco. Maniaco 1 put Junior around his shoulders.
Oh.
I know.
Well, that wasn't very clear.
Wait, if he's concussed, why is Lebestia telling him to wake up? Like, you don't just walk up to somebody concussed and tell them wake up.
Well, you do in this show.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I would.
Like, no one said these people were smart.
Yeah.
They haven't even used Chekhov's gun yet.
They have not.
Zoom in on Maniaco 1. Fearful face reflects about Katrina's motive. Excellent timing.
What?
Who is this chica? All this for a couple of nobodies? She's holding her own against Bestia. Impossible.
I think that's Maniaco 1's thoughts.
I mean, they might be. It doesn't say
be.
so.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's panel 2 again. Vertical. Lebestia takes a low boxing stance, jabbing at Katrina as she blocks the hits with her baton. Clink.
That bastard stuffed with cyber mods.
Oh, that's right. That's a caption. Sorry about that.
Put your toys away. Daddy's going in bare.
Oh my
Panel
god.
3,
Not
which is
only
actually
did the-
panel 4.
Yeah.
Lebestia takes a giant swing. Zoom in on his face snapping like a rabid dog. That's not how you spell dog.
Yeah, dog. That's how you spell dog.
Yeah,
dog.
Showcasing his metallic teeth. So you know what I was saying earlier about sloppy presentation, making it unlikely for people to want to work with you?
Yeah.
If you have sloppy presentation, it's unlikely that people are going to want to work with you.
Yes.
Anyways, panel not 4. Zoom in giant arm hits her batons that are held out in X form. A dust cloud sweeps through, carried by the kinetic energy. Bam. Panel not 5. Katrina is pushed backwards and is now pinned to the car behind her. As Lebestia continues to swing, a dust cloud builds. Swoosh.
Yeah. Fuck her up. Show us her insides.
Panel 9 somehow.
Wow. We went from 5 to 9. That's anyway.
Damn.
Lebestia can be seen throwing a flurry of fists as he tears the car apart, and Katrina disappears in the cloud of dust. Smash, crash, splash.
Hey!
Panel 10. Lebestia stops the onslaught upon hearing Katrina yelp out.
That'll keep you out of our business.
Can this be the end? No, it's not the end.
Oh, there's more.
Page 9.
I mean, these are 10 panel
Yeah, I
pages.
know.
These are 10 panel pages, yeah.
These are really long pages.
They
I'm
very
going to
long.
have something to say about that later.
Yes, absolutely.
Lebestia's what?
Turn.
Lebestia turns to face the others, I guess. He is grinning from ear to ear. Grr, see that? Damn, I love these mods, says nobody.
I think that's the
panel
best.
2. I mean, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Panel 2. A triangle completes the square with panel 1, which, FYI, is a fucking rectangle.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Lebestia ecstatically turns back towards Katrina.
Woot, special delivery for the main man.
We need Maniaco 2 again.
Look!
I love all these people off panel. Like, there's just people talking. We have no idea who they are. It's great. Panel 2 again. The number that follows 2 traditionally is 3, by the way. Technical note.
Hold on, I gotta write that down.
Yeah. Katrina's shape can be seen on one knee inside the fading dust. Isn't she inside a car?
I don't. Did she write in? She got in the car.
Did she take a knee inside a car?
Where does it say that she got in the car?
When she was punched into
Didn't
a
she get
car on the
smashed like
previous
through the
page.
car?
Yeah.
Did he pull her
Tears
out
the
though,
car
or
apart.
what happened?
I mean, she disappeared in a cloud of dust.
Yeah,
as they
okay.
tore far apart. All right.
Whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Maniaco 3 has a line.
I'm not
Can't be. Though if Maniaco 2 and 3 are off panel, how do we know who's actually talking?
We don't, but that's
We don't.
clearly the illustrator's problem. The panel not 3, Katrina jumps at La Bestia.
Ugh.
Hiya!
Panel 4, Katrina grabs his head midair and knees his face. Blood gushes out. Crack boosh. Panel 5, angle from Katrina's back towards the Maniacos. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean.
Yes.
If you hurt innocent women, it becomes my business. Nothing will stop Moo Bloodlust after seeing what you bastards do to them.
Panel 6. We see La Bestia's reaction and the crew behind him. Blood running down his face as he grins wildly.
You crazy whore! Do you have any idea who we are? We'll find everyone you ever loved and hand their heads to you before you ever get a chance to see daylight again. End it. There we
go. Panel 7. Maniaco 1, now no longer written using a numeral, talks to JR as he wakes up from his coma.
Come on, JR, we gotta go.
Huh? Wait, Joseph with JR.
Yeah, he was.
Where's the line? Huh? Where's my AI ball? Who the fuck is this chick?
Page 10.
Page 10. Panel 1. Katrina spits at La Bestia. Include Gypsy Inlet.
Sploosh.
Gone soft.
Question your Gypsy.
Authorities en route. Drone activity spotted.
The end.
The end. All right, there we go. The end. Okay, so that was La Vigilante. Well, I mean, we've seen this story a few times, and it's always entertaining.
It's always something.
Yeah, Katrina is, aka La Vigilante, is out to ensure that women are safe and to make sure that they are not put upon by the evil Maniacos. And we certainly had some of that.
There's at least 3 of them. Pretty crazy.
There are, and there's La Bestia. Is it La Bestia or
Bestia?
It's I was calling him La Bestia.
Yeah,
as the script told me to.
Yeah, like which is strange.
You got a point.
I always thought that was weird because La Bestia seems like it would be feminine.
I know.
I mean, it only worked when the character was transsexual.
Mm-hmm.
Since they dropped the trans thing, it doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah, a little bit, Draco.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, get back on the stream, dude.
Yes. All right. So, well, we had a lot of action. We had, like, look, you're transitioning, I want to say, to comic format. I think previously these were in screenplay format. So good on you for learning a new style. It can be a little challenging, and you're struggling, and that's going to happen. So the way you learned is by doing, and you were doing. Good job. I mean,
I will say, yes, most people don't even do the doing part. So you do need some recognition for that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will certainly say, yeah. You have mostly transitioned to a comic format, which to a degree makes this easier to read, and to a degree, well, yes, it definitely feels more like a comic as we're reading it. It's really cool that you found your apostrophe key, so you've solved that problem with substantial enthusiasm.
Nice things.
And you have put some thought into your page design, which is always really nice to see in a comic book.
John.
Yeah, nice to see this in a comic format. And so that was kind of cool. I, having already done this as a webcomic for yourself, I'm curious. This is more of a question, just how the webcomic lines up with your vision of the actual panels on page. So I'm curious how that has been for you. But yeah, no, that was kind of cool. I unlike all the other Jokers here, I do actually get a chuckle out of the sex comments during the fight. I do think it's kind of funny.
They were all good. They're still all good aside from the first one. It's not a response to anything. He just jumps into the middle of a crowd and says, "The more, the sexier." It's weird. It's the only line I don't like.
Maybe it should be like, "Oh, I'm just in time for the orgy," or
Yes, that's a better line.
you know, something like that. Maybe lean into that. You know, 3 is a crowd, 4 is orgy.
I mean,
I don't know. Anyway, so that was cool.
He might be an orgy.
I know, maybe like I don't like being a third wheel, but I love being the fifth. Like,
whoa! All right, there we go. Okay, sure.
Like anything is better than what you have. Seriously.
I'm going to set the OnlyFans record.
We're giving constructives. Joseph needs to say positive things.
Okay. Oh, he did. He said, "Good on you for doing something."
All right.
But I gotta give real positive feedback.
All right, go ahead.
Joseph, being the only person who hasn't read this before, does get to say those things.
So this is my first time being exposed to your creative vision, so I do have quite the reaction to it.
Mm-hmm. And what would that reaction be?
Bewilderment.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to take on a little bit of what John here said. I feel like the sexy comments to me are a little bit of a half measure, and I feel like you should kind of go full force and
I've said that before.
Make it hotter, make it sexier, make her be topless the entire time. Do something that will help kind of put a really big set of tits on the cover.
There you go.
That's my job.
I don't feel like that was positive, though. Do I need to give positive reinforcement?
I feel like it was more nice things, but we're moving on to constructives. Preston.
All right, constructive. There are way too many panels on the page. All right. And it's one thing if you had like one page with 10 panels, but like every page has 10 panels. And there's a lot of action on these, and there's a lot of words. So you run out of room, and like your action ends up being really small. And you don't want your action to be small. So give us fewer panels per page, and therefore more room to give us more stuff. So I think that would be my biggest note. And then, you know, I mean, like, look, it's La Vigilante beating down some mooks for 10 pages, which is really closer to 15 if we really provided it. In terms of a comic, if we're going to say a comic is 24 pages, you know, like a lot of mine are, 23, 24 pages, then you've taken up 15 with Katrina doing like the sexy innuendo battle with La Maniacos and La Bestia. So this is almost a comic right here. We just need, kind of like an end or perhaps a bit of a beginning to kind of lead us in and take us out. I would like it if La Bestia was built up a little bit more. As it is, La Vigilante is kind of out on the prowl, and she comes across these people and is like, "You're clearly opposing women." I don't even know how she knew that. I don't know that we saw it. It's just kind of assumed that because she's fighting them, these must be like mansplainers or something. But I look, this is the meat of the comic right here. We need to build up the villains. We need to build up her purpose for being there. And we need to build up La Bestia, the very masculine bad guy.
So. All right, let me get my feedback out of the way real quick, which is, technically, you have way too many panels, way too much art, way too much talking. I dare you to draw any of this on a page and include all the words, write them all by hand, and then see if it fits. Because I promise you it won't. So until you get a good sense of what that is, you should actually do it practically. this is a good exercise to write better comments. The other is, as I've said for every other draft of this story, Katrina's motivation is terribly unclear.
She's got to protect women.
Yeah, but she those girls seemed like they were having fun.
They did.
Well, and they weren't actually in terrible trouble. And also, you continue to show us a gun that never goes off, which is bad storytelling.
All right. Out of curiosity, if we see the Maniacos accost the women and threaten them, does that satisfy what you want to see?
Yes.
So that's an easy fix then, right? It's like one or two panels.
I mean, you may also consider writing a beginning to your story and perhaps describing why she doesn't want to get laid and get a promotion, instead wants to endanger herself publicly on the streets. But, you know, that's advanced.
Yes.
So start by fixing this one scene first, is my suggestion. But
was there a reason why it was so short? Sorry to cut off you, Denny, but just want some added context to this.
Why what was so short?
The comic itself. It feels like it was only like 10 pages, right?
Well, we read 10-page vignettes or selections.
Yeah, we got to stop somewhere. And
we
if
you
haven't told us the story in 10 pages, you're probably not going to.
Yeah.
So there is more then, correct?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know.
Presumably.
Yeah. Okay.
Presumably.
Okay.
We've seen more La Vigilante. We've seen it go into issue 2. There's a lot of, previously, I can tell you that she's a news reporter. She will often go on and talk about the news and then go out. And then her manager, J. Jonah Jameson, will come in and say, I really don't like this La Vigilante character. She's horrible. You got to do something about this menace. And then she'll go out and fight crime. And right? Am I wrong?
Sometimes
no, you're not wrong. That's exactly what
aggressively for 5 pages.
Yeah.
And then beats up some people who drive by in a truck.
Yeah.
It's
right. That's right. She was looking for a lost, kidnapped person or something.
Yeah, this story used to have a plot.
Yeah.
Well, that is the plot. This was supposed to be her superhero introduction.
Well, it felt really long.
And you know what?
Like 3 pages of screenwriting. It feels much longer at 10 pages of comic.
Yeah. And I think, go ahead.
And if I may, so this was something that I kind of picked up. So the very, very first screenplay that I ever wrote was quite literally, I plagiarized the 1989 Batman movie.
Cool. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's a very good movie. But basically,
you picked an okay movie to plagiarize.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I took the entire movie, story beat by story beat, and I basically rewrote every story beat with my own character. One of the things that I realized starting with that movie, like in the early 90s when I started writing, and more modern stories, is that movie, even this, the Superman movie kind of is in search of a plot until Lex Luthor shows up. But one of the things that
You're
those
about
early
Richard Donner Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there was a plot, but it was really, there wasn't really it wasn't really a superhero movie until Lex Luthor showed up, and then there was an actual. And anyway, my whole point is, in both of those films, the hero, until the plot actually starts, the hero's big action scenes are not plot related. Like Batman shows up, he beats up a couple of thugs on the roof, and then we never see them again. That scene has nothing to do with the actual overarching plot of the film. The same thing with Superman when he first shows up in the city. The things that he does have absolutely no bearing on the actual plot of whatever the villains are doing. And I feel like that's the way, and that's not something that modern superhero films don't do that anymore now. And it's better if everything is advancing the storyline or is connected to the main storyline in some way. So, and I don't remember, because we didn't really get far enough into it, whether or not the Maniacos are responsible for kidnapping What's-Her-Face. But I kind of feel like you need to connect those early on so that we have a through line. If maybe she's, maybe this lady's already kidnapped and she's going out and looking for her and she's trying to dig up clues, and maybe she was last seen at this bar and that's why she's going to this bar, and then runs into these guys. Give us something of whatever your A plot is from the beginning that is motivating her, and I think that will help in the long run, especially when you're trying to bring us back to issue 2. Because as of right now, like, there's not a whole lot here that will make us want to continue. And I feel like if you can bring that into it and raise your stakes a little bit, even if she goes on this side quest of beating up maniacos at a bar, if that can be minorly tied into your A plot, I think that'll go a long way. And I think it'll also strengthen this and why she's there and all those things. Otherwise, it kind of feels like that opening to Batman where he just shows up, beats up crap out of 2 thugs, and then, you know.
And that scene didn't last 15 minutes for a damn good reason.
Right.
No, it did not.
So a more succinct way to put that is your reader doesn't care about your character. It's your job to make them care. Which is, I know it sounds really blunt, but that's usually my approach. And it's my approach when I'm watching stuff too, right? This scene doesn't tell us very much about our character, except that she sexually enjoys walking up to people outside a bar and engaging in violence.
Yes.
Now, I don't think you're writing that.
Who doesn't?
I mean, it is kind of exciting.
I mean, it's got to be at least that exciting, Preston. If you want to catch up with Katrina.
Yeah.
So if that is the thing you want us to remember about your character, cool. She gets off on punching strangers.
Yes.
Now, having seen other parts of your story, I'm reasonably confident that's not the story you're trying to tell. So maybe the takeaway should have something to do with the kind of character that you want us to remember your protagonist as being.
All right. Is that everything?
I don't think I got a chance to.
All right. Go ahead, Josh.
I want to add on to nice things first, because I didn't
Okay.
get a chance to really compliment the way that you definitely have a real eye for action scenes.
Mhm.
And I can tell that's the thing that you really like to write is action.
Mhm.
Now, what I would highly suggest is basically take your hyper fixation on certain characters during the action scenes and just widen it out. Because one of the problems that we talked about during the fight scenes was how many characters were off panel. Make that shot just a little bit wider, have those characters there, see their reactions to this girl beating the shit out of all the other gang members, and it would add just a little bit more flavor to it.
But that would require less panels on a page because you got more stuff in those panels. Then those panels have to be bigger, and then
I
you
also
have
force us as the script readers to read more of the content.
Yeah. I wouldn't say require. I would say grants. I would say it gives you fewer panels. Instead of having all these little panels, you can have fewer big panels with more people on them and more dialogue.
But then your reader might actually understand what the hell's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, it helps with everything.
So,
we can't have that.
like,
more triangles. We need more triangles.
More.
well, I'm sure, yeah, everybody here is going to say get rid of the square stuff, get rid of the triangle panels. Really,
Yeah.
just like there needs to be an element of trust with your artist where you give it to them. And if your artist has questions for you on layouts, or if you have a very specific vision as to how you want it laid out, definitely write that down. But kind of let them, I don't want to say figure it out, but let them kind of go with it and figure out the best way to let that be on the page.
Especially until you figure out how to actually pace an action scene in a comic. Because there's lots of ways to do it, and some people are better at it than others. It's a skill like any other.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've seen it like drawn, you'll have a better idea of how this will turn out. You'll be way better on your next one.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, I tried doing the whole page layout thing once, and it just didn't work. I did a little image up at the top corner where I was like, this is how I wanted all the panels to laid out. But honestly, when I gave it to my artist, even I just like what they gave me better. So I just stopped doing that. I really just let them do it, and then I'll suggest that they move things around or put this panel over there. But
go back and read some of your favorite comics and see how those are laid out.
I'll give you a hint. Watchmen only has 9 panels per page.
There you go. All right, we have Greenhouse of Doom, not related to Coffee House of Doom, right? This is totally
Not
different.
related at all. I will
Okay.
say going into this, I have legitimately no clue what to title this story.
Okay.
So
Well,
if you have any
obviously,
suggestions, I
It's
will plagiarize
it's
it.
in the public good, or it's PSA.
Okay.
What's wrong with Greenhouse of Doom?
That's the name of the book.
So Greenhouse of Doom is the anthology, and this is one of the stories
Oh.
in that anthology.
Okay.
Okay, so I think Joseph needs to not read the narration.
I can
I'll
do
read
it.
the
So you can
narration.
take
All right,
notes.
go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get my notes up real quick. So sorry. Give
No
me
problem.
1 second
No
here.
problem.
Because I'm going to get some decent feedback here.
Yeah, and you don't have to actually say things about this at the end of the reading, but you're probably gonna have to read some dialogue.
No, I have a lot of positive things to say about this one.
Yeah, well, your opinion is irrelevant. You came here for ours.
All right, let's get into it.
All right,
Well,
page
hold up,
one,
hold up,
panel
hold up,
one.
Hold up.
I'm holding up.
I think
I'm
I may have another reader joining us.
I'm holding.
We're going to start a script. You want to read a script
Is
with
that
us?
Diane?
That is Diane.
Diane. Yo, this is my collaborator Joseph. It's his script. You should totally come
Well,
and read it.
hello.
So she's fresh off of the second viewing of our movie. What did you think? Is our movie?
I got lots of notes.
Okay. Well, that's good, right? I mean, lots of notes makes things
I'm
better.
probably gonna have to watch it a third time. And
Sure. I mean,
and
yeah.
actually put in like the time
Yeah. Yes.
then say-
yeah.
and say like, hey, this needs to be done.
Right. Okay. But it's pretty good, don't you think?
It could be better.
There we go. All
Could be
right.
better. It's good,
You know, everything
but it
could
could be better.
Okay.
So,
All right.
For like the one of you listening who doesn't know, Preston produced a movie that was shot last November.
Yes.
I worked on it.
Yeah.
Diane also
Diane
did some
worked
work
on
on it.
Yeah.
Lots of people did some work on it. And it continues to happen because when you're done principal photography, you're nowhere near done making the movie.
No.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
nope.
Yeah.
Not at all. Hey, John.
Hey.
All right. So I believe John is reading this.
Yes, whenever you guys are ready.
All right.
Commence.
Page one, panel one, splash page of our main cast. On the left is Martin, the hero of the story and a complete dork. He sports taped together. Yes, that is what. Okay. He sports
sports
taped together big black frame glasses, complete with white dress shirt and red curly hair. To his right are the Creepy Crew, a gang of goth misfits ripped right out of a Hot Topic ad.
Add ADD, right? Or
Yep.
I think
AD.
AD.
No, that's what I have diagnosed with. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's ADHD. This
Yeah.
is Hot Topic add and subtract.
Yeah.
Carmela stands proud in the center. A black woman wearing purple
Oh,
overalls
shit.
over a purple and black long sleeve striped shirt.
She sure does.
She has long bearded hair and
Did I really say
Beaded.
bearded?
Nope.
Oh my
Beaded.
god.
Beaded.
Beaded.
long beaded hair done up in balls like
Did I say
Sailor
beaded?
Moon.
Oh my fucking god. That should say braided. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it beat it.
Oh, you really
Okay.
fucked that one up.
Also
Joseph.
purple. And the tallest of the group with long black hair trailing past their ass.
There you go.
They wear contacts, each eye the inverse of the other. Harry, tallest of the bunch, with the sides of his head clean shaven, with a head tattoo of a scythe stretching up from his head over his right eyebrow.
Wow.
Melissa, a short girl with a green mohawk, winged eyeliner, and trip pants straight from the early 2000s. Behind them looms Creepy Manor, a white and purple mansion.
Let's late again, dork ass.
Please stop calling me that, Carmela. You know I hate it.
We Melissa.
Not as much as we hate dorks.
Jerry or Junior. What?
Joseph?
Joseph. Why don't you be?
I'll go by Junior Show.
Yeah.
Getting major narc vibes from this guy.
I guess that's me.
Yeah. We need an Ann. Yeah. Go ahead.
Don't bully him too much. He might run off like the last one.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Page 2, panel 1. Reveal a boardroom. Standing in front is a bald, frumpy old man in a tan suit that doesn't fit him properly. He holds a pointer. Behind him are all the panels from the comic tacked onto a wall.
From this comic?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Goth mommies are all the rage these days. The youth love them. Incorporate them into this PSA, it'll go viral for sure.
Panel 2. A group of white men sit around, and of course they do.
Hate them. I already hate them.
A group of white men sit around a circular table, each one more outraged than the last. The closest one to the pitchman speaks up.
We used to shoot these kind of commercials in someone's kitchen. One take and the whole thing only costed $100. This shot alone looks like it'll cost thousands.
Panel 3. Pitchman sweats, trying to smile through the criticism.
The price for a drug-free America.
Sorry, America lost the war on drugs.
We did.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Nancy.
Panel 4. Tight close-up of the boss, sitting Grendo style, fingers interlocked, elbows on the table, light reflecting off his circular glasses. Are you stealing it from the meme?
Yeah, I was just going to say, before we go on, does anybody know what I actually
I
mean
mean,
when I say
I
that?
know what you mean because I've seen Evangelion, but like, I think it's a meme. It's probably a meme now.
Yeah.
Isn't
it's
that
just
the
a
boardroom
classic-
meme where the guy's like has that suggestion and the boss then throws him out the window?
No,
That's
not
what I
that.
was
No, have
thinking.
you seen Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, the protagonist's dad is always sitting like in
Oh,
shadow.
yeah. Okay,
Elbows on the
okay, I
table,
got you.
fingers interlocked with like light reflecting on the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, that look.
Okay. Okay.
Keep going. I want to see how this ends. You better wow us.
Mm.
Panel 5. Extreme close-up of the boss's face.
Or else.
Panel 6. Back to the boardroom. Pitchman points at a panel tacked to the wall.
Right, of course. Remember the big spooky house from earlier? Well, after they break in,
Yep, somebody didn't follow the note about putting the beginning of the page on the beginning of a page.
Whatever.
Page 3, panel 1, inside the spooky manor living room. The crew sit in a circle of Gothic Victorian era furniture.
Ooh, I'll
Lit
clean that one
candles
up.
on the table in front of them. Thick cobwebs and dust cover everything.
no way this is happening. We can get in so much trouble if anyone finds us.
Martin's got a point. No one invited me in. That's against the rules.
Terry, not funny. I don't know who Carmela was.
I
It
don't
wasn't me.
JR, you can be Carmela.
All good
You're
parties.
not JR.
I know. I wasn't.
Joseph,
Carmela.
be Carmela.
All right,
All
pick
good
on-
parties start with the little B and E. The real fun hasn't even started.
I was Melissa and Anna.
Yeah, Melissa, you did good.
Yeah.
Panel 2. Anne holds up a baggie full of pot.
Woo!
They make a devil horn gesture with their free hand while screaming about weed. The tip of their tongue is rainbow, starting with orange, then green, then blue, then normal tongue color. What? I didn't know pot did that. Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah, maybe they're
I'm pretty sure
What
it
happens if
doesn't.
you do drugs? That's why I'm making this PSA.
Okay.
okay.
Oh no!
sounds
Don't
like
tell me
everyone-
you guys are here to do.
Weed, ganga, Dracula dust, Orlok one hitters. So strong that you'll be lounging in liminal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Liminal? Is that it?
Yeah. well,
Okay. You ever experience a full ego death from one puff? Smoke this shit and you'll wake up with
Oh fuck!
is that
That eye is not supposed to be there. Don't even
With
see that.
someone
right?
else's memory.
okay? You'll wake up with someone else's memories.
Panel 3. Close-up of Martin in panic.
But drugs are highly illegal. I'd never survive in prison. Oh God, I should have never come here.
Okay,
By the way,
I need some
technical note-
reassurance before we go on. By the way, you guys are laughing because this is like actually funny, right?
No, none of that.
All right.
laughter.
You know what? You're right. Let's go. Let's keep moving
By
on.
the way, I just want to say Camilla May should be off panel if we're closing up on Martin. Maybe. I don't know. Otherwise, we're going to need to have Camilla possibly written in the action line, or at least I would prefer it would be less ambiguous that way.
I think you're right. I should just change that to say like maybe punching on Martin with Carmela on the other side of the panel.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
just
like,
move her
yeah.
dialogue line down to panel 4 where she is in the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
this plant was here. Am I Carmela? Are you? Camilla?
No, Joseph.
Joseph is Camilla.
This
Joseph.
plant was here before any law declared it illegal. All it does is help you relax, which you clearly need a lot of help with.
Panel 4, close-up of Carmela's mouth. Wait, what? Where's her mouth going?
Did I go too far? Wait,
You've gone the wrong way.
I'm going the wrong way. Panel 4.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
We're good.
Close-up of Carmela's mouth as she licks the joint papers. Her teeth are sharp.
Loosen up. We have a long night ahead of us, and the fun's just begun.
Oh yeah.
Panel 5. POV shot of the creepy crew all holding various drug paraphernalia.
Presumably Martin's point of view.
Yeah.
That would probably be helpful.
That would help. Yeah.
Well,
Carmela
when I
holds-
say yes, you know what? No, I'm listening to you guys. Martin's POV.
Carmela holds a glass dab ring and holds 3 lit joints
more.
between her long fingers because one's not enough. Melissa holds a soda can with smoke coming out of it, but Terry is nowhere to be seen. The background darkened, their eyes lit up. It should look like the creepy crew is offering the reader drugs.
Carmela.
You want to be cool, don't you?
Page 4, panel 1. Close up, low angle shot of Martin hitting the dab. His wide eyes are rainbows, like the color wheel of a crashing Mac.
Oh yeah. I know those.
Oh, okay, Mac. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking crashing Mac truck. I'm like, what the hell?
No,
is that?
no, you're a Windows person.
I
Stop.
am.
Disgusting. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Windows and Android. Thank
I'm
you.
Windows. I'm PC.
There
So
you go.
next.
Panel 2, wide shot of the creepy
In fact,
crew.
she's looking for a job right now, and there was one like must be proficient with Mac. She's like, nope. Like I can teach you. Like, no,
Dude,
No, it's fine.
just say you are. They're basically the same. Just say
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
It's the same Photoshop.
Did they ever add the right mouse click? Because I cannot live without a mouse. Right
Yes.
mouse button.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, like
but that
1998.
doesn't matter. It still
No, when I
sucks.
when I went to college in like the early 2000s, before
In
I dropped out,
1935.
yeah.
the Macs did not have right mouse buttons.
Yeah, no,
they had
they
those
have them
little-
now. It does the
Remember
same thing
those
as Command
triangle
12.
Macs that were all bright colors?
Yeah.
That's what they that's what they had in their computer labs, and they only had one mouse button, and they were annoying AF. Panel 2, wide shot of the creepy crew smiling wide as they watch Martin. Carmela stands with her arms crossed.
I thought the plan was to get stoned tonight, not high.
What?
We're
Oh, shit, that
getting
should be Camilla.
stoned. We're getting stoned, and he's going to the moon.
I a technical note. I don't understand the honest difference here, but all right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
either.
okay. So weed is you just get a little stoned, whereas with real drugs like cocaine or heroin, you get
Sure.
high.
Okay. Because I've heard people getting high on marijuana, but you're saying no, they're getting stoned, and people are misspeaking in that regard.
I don't know. I mean, like,
I think some of this might be like localized culture shit.
Okay.
This
Fair
is
enough.
pretty West Coast.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't know. I mean, because Elton John talks about, going. Rocket Man talks about getting high as a kite, and I don't think he means going to the Mars. I think he actually means.
That was
Getting
back
high.
in 1820 when everybody thought that marijuana was an addictive substance that could kill you if you do it too much. You know,
Wait, it's not?
I mean,
it
Panel-
could kill you in
Sorry.
various different ways, which is what this PSA is all about.
exactly.
Oh, well, I'm going to learn something. Let's
There
go.
we go.
Panel 3. Melissa cheers as Martin takes a hit from the soda bong.
Not too hard, or you'll inhale metal.
That sounds bad.
That does sound bad.
That sounds metal AF.
Hell yeah,
Joseph.
Melissa, don't fuck with him too much.
Panel 4. Martin hunches over, his face a mix of sweat and pimple oil. Eyes red, and he's on the verge of puking.
I don't feel so good. I think I'm gonna.
Bleh. Bathroom's down the hall if you're gonna hurl.
Page 5, panel 1. Every panel, except for the last, will be from the same perspective with the same framing. Everything is POV from the mirror looking into the dirty bathroom. Martin bursts through the door. On the left, to the right, is a dirty toilet and a worse off stand-up shower covered in mold.
Ew.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna die. I did too much drugs, and now I'm really gonna die.
Panel 2, same
thought that.
POV framing as Martin splashes water on his face.
Grandma's gonna see me in heaven and know her only grandson is a drug addict. I never wanted this. I gotta get the heck out of here. Wow, I'm swearing now. The drugs are taking over my life. It might be too late for me.
Panel 3.
Wait. Where is heck
What?
is a swear word for him?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
joke.
Panel 3, Martin rests his hands on the sink counter. Water flows out of the sink and onto the ground.
What am I doing here? Really? This isn't me. I don't do these kind of things. Certainly not for people I know will never like me, no matter what. I should leave.
Hmm.
Panel 4, Martin hears a plop off panel. He looks in the mirror in front of him. Panel 5, cut to a tight close-up of Martin's face, no longer in the mirror POV. Have this panel on the bottom right as an insert. Martin looks over his shoulder, screaming at something off panel.
Okay, quick question. Sorry.
No.
Did I use
No,
insert
no.
correctly there? No, I did not use
No,
insert
you
correctly.
did, but it
Okay.
doesn't matter. Don't ask this shit until after.
All right.
Page
Alright.
We'll
6,
have your
panel
time.
1. Page
Yeah.
6, panel 1.
You think
Terry
he's-
is on the toilet, pants around his ankles, angry while looking at a terrified Martin.
Am I Terry?
Should have knocked, buddy.
Yeah, be Terry.
Okay.
I
Should have
thought I was
knocked,
Terry.
buddy. It's
Yeah.
rude to enter places uninvited.
Panel 2, Martin bursts out of the door in a panic. Terry screams from behind him, still sitting on the toilet.
At least close the fucking door.
Guys, something's wrong. Either I've had my mind or Terry's,
Panel 3, the creepy crew surrounds Martin, all of them with glowing red eyes and visible fangs. Carmela licks her teeth.
A what?
Oh, sorry.
Panel 4, Martin screams in terror, turning around to run out of the door he just came in. The creepy crew smiles behind them, teeth sharp with eyes glowing red. A black figure stands in front of Martin, most of it off panel.
Get away. They're gonna eat me.
Relax, dork ass. We're not gonna eat you.
Panel 6, Martin bumps into Terry.
We're gonna smoke you.
Oh, hardcore.
Panel 7, close-up of Martin's panic-stricken face.
Oh shit.
And then we're on panel 1 of the same page
Uh,
somehow.
No,
This-
Terry.
No, we're not. This is
The
a
number
different
after
page.
7 is 8.
Yeah. I believe this is next
uh,
page. I think this is next page. I'm willing to wager this is next page.
I
It
mean,
is.
so am I.
Carmela
Because you got a panel 7.
fangs sink into Martin's neck. Hey, we gave Xander a whole bunch of shit for that. So
We
come
sure
on.
did.
Yeah, we're
I
absolutely
deserve
giving Joseph the exact same shit.
There you go.
Sorry,
So
Judge.
Carmela's fangs sink into Martin's neck. Blood oozes out of the side of the fresh wound.
Ah.
Panel 2, punch in. Focusing on Carmela, smoke comes out of Martin's wound into Carmela's mouth. She inhales.
So
Oh,
she's
man.
smoking the blood.
I
Panel-
mean, I guess.
Panel 3, Carmela blows a smoke ring. Martin is on the ground screaming out in pain.
Not Carmela. I'm not it.
Yeah, I think
Joseph,
Jay.
Joseph.
you're Carmela.
That'd be me. Sorry, I was taking a note. This is way better than the last one.
Panel 4, wide shot of the vampires feasting on Martin. Carmela has her fangs on Martin's neck. Melissa holds onto Martin's right wrist, with Terry on the left wrist, both inhaling smoke from fresh bite wounds. Anne and Terry focus on his upper arms. Panel 5, close-up of Carmela smoking out of Martin's neck. Her eyes now have the same color wheel effect from page 3. Panel 6, the same type of close-up for Melissa. Her eyes have the color wheel as she feasts from Martin's wrist in ecstasy. Panel 7, Martin lays on the ground lifeless, his skin sunken tight against his skeleton, all color from his eyes now gone.
If only I never met these people. If only I stuck to my principles and never did drugs.
Page 8, panel 1. Pitchman stands center stage as each suit looks at in anger.
At him in anger, sorry.
Sweat pours that's not what it says. Sweat pours down his head as he talks.
So, how'd you like it? I have a nephew who's a real whiz on the computer. He can do all the effects for free.
Panel 2.
Yeah, I know. He's a pitch man. It's acceptable.
That's the reaction I was looking for with that line.
I mean, there's that, and also abusive employment practices in my
Yeah, and me as an artist is like, oh yeah,
Jesus.
as an artist. Oh yes, my niece can do it for free. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Pay me, bitch.
Panel 2. Darkness sinks into the room. The boss is under a spotlight while the rest of the table sit with their heads bowed.
You thought, or who taught you all this?
Excuse me?
Panel 3. Boss sits up, gut protruding from his cross-button dress shirt.
Our secrets, our festivities.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
It's festivities.
Festivies.
It's festivities.
Festivies for the best of bees.
Festives. Festives.
You expect us to broadcast them to the world? To the world? The world.
Panel 4. Pitchman has his back to the wall. Next to him is the panel of Martin getting eaten.
What? Does this mean you don't approve?
Panel 5. The entire room stands on its feet. A room has feet? Okay. The pitchman has his back to the wall. The boss's bald head glows. Fangs come out of his mouth.
Approve. The only thing I'll approve of.
Panel 6. Pitchman faces the reader. He screams as he tries to run out of the room. Everyone in the boardroom is down vampire. Eyes black with red dots for pupils. Sharp fangs out of their mouth. Boss leads the charge as he leaps over the table.
Is eating you next. The end.
Wow.
Okay, well, I have some notes.
Okay.
You don't get
save
notes.
them for
You
later.
don't have notes. You may ask questions of our notes, but you
Yes,
don't get
after
notes.
we're done.
First off,
Also.
I thought this was great. But go ahead. I'll let you guys go first.
All right. Well, I mean, do you want to start us off on positives, Joseph?
I think Joseph's going to shut the hell up and listen
All
to
right,
what Preston
fair
has to
enough.
say.
Okay.
I will say
So-
I'm glad that you laughed. It seems like some of the
Yeah.
jokes.
I mean, look, it's
This is a
I-
comedy, right?
yeah. I mean, clearly,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he
It's a
set
satire.
out to do like a send up of drug ads, or yeah,
Like a
Yeah,
PSA.
like a PSA. Like it's
It-
it's making fun of PSAs. It's
No, you should call it Dare.
There you go. Yes.
Dare.
Dare. Yeah, you should call it Dare. And we got a really crazy PSA, and it's one of those, like I wish there was a name for the genre of where the story is about people that are making the story that it's about.
You mean a meta
You
narrative?
mean a meta?
I mean, I guess, and this is one of those where it's a bunch of people trying to decide if they want to write this story that is really what the story itself is about. Like the guy is writing a story about people being eaten by vampires, who's then eaten by vampires who are approving or disapproving of the story itself. Like
The meta.
I guess. I mean,
guess it's
similarly, you and I watched Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine in
Yes.
Death Trap a couple weeks ago,
It's very meta
which is a story about writers getting together to write a story about a murder
that they just committed.
that they just committed, and the whole story is about them working on the story as they're offing each other, and so it's
It's a
Yeah,
meta.
meta narratives are fun, especially if you're a nerd like us who likes writing.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
extremely
it's meta writer nerd porn.
Yeah, it's
That's the genre, I guess.
New Nightmares, exact same thing.
Yeah.
There's a scene where you have a close up on the script
Yeah.
that Wes Craven is playing, and it's literally the dialogue that they just said.
Right.
So-
Yeah, and I see that a lot. People like fourth wall breaking. I
yeah,
guess.
it's
Whatever.
like it's
So,
fourth wall.
like it's in that genre. It's
Fourth wall breaking is when you talk directly to the audience.
okay.
No, I mean like
Well,
you
I
can have
mean,
some meta in there that can be fourth
yeah,
wall
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're, I would say it's not just a break of where you're addressing the audience directly, but where you're really kind of cluing them into the illusory nature of the world and the story itself.
It's metafiction. It's fiction about fiction.
Yeah, fiction about fiction. So I'd say this is in the fiction about fiction genre, which a lot of people like. There's a reason it keeps coming up is because people kind of like it. It's a way of deconstructing. And in this way, you are deconstructing the drug PSA genre
with vampires.
And everybody loves vampires.
I do.
And I thought it was really cool that they smoked him, and that was awesome. Like,
actually,
I wanted to see more of that.
Actually, I really would love to see the visual. Of
Yeah,
them
like I wanted that to be bigger. I wanted that to take up more space.
I was like the image in my head was like, so was she snorting?
Right.
blood?
Yeah. Like I was like, I wanted to know like the more specifics about like
how do you lick?
Yeah.
How do you lick the paper and he's still in there?
So yeah.
And also like, was she snorting like blood vessels?
All right, we're going to transition to Diana. Diana, what do you want to say in regards to positives on the story? Go ahead.
I thought it was actually quite funny.
Okay.
Could be funnier.
Okay.
I admit satirical kind of metafiction.
Right.
It's going relatively okay. It's odd. It's odd. I'm still like the scenes where he's like they're kind of like drug taking the people.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about how that's going to play out in the panels. So because what's in my head, it's probably not going to translate towards a massive audience. So,
I know the likely illustrator for this, and it will absolutely translate.
Oh, okay, all right. So because I was like snorting like blood spores.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I was just kind of like, huh? So, but I like the use of the name Carmilla because it's based off the first one of the first vampire stories by Sheridan Defoe.
You were such a dork.
I'm a vampire fan. Fuck you. So yeah, Carmilla.
Okay, hold on though. I will say, and if you're a real vampire fan, who is Martin named after?
Who's what?
What Martin? Obviously from.
Oh, that's actually named after a film. That's a film.
By George Miller. No, not George Miller. Oh my God.
No, I'm asking her, not you. Holy shit.
No, it's Martin is actually a film that was done by same guy who does the Night of the Living Dead, and he did a vampire film called Martin.
George R.R. Martin. Yeah.
George R.R. Martin.
No.
Night of the Living Dead.
Just kidding. Holy fuck.
That was wasn't that Romero?
Romero did a film called
Romero did Martin, which is about how magic doesn't exist, and it is super. It's so good.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
No, it's a Martin is a wonderful kind of wacky sort of vampire film. It's a vampire film, yet not. It's
That is a good way to describe it. I love that movie. But
It's a
I'm
great
glad
film.
that there is a vampire nerd in here who gets all these references. So thank you.
Is it Anne named after Anne Rice?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely not just because.
Any other positives? Or moving on.
I wasn't sure exactly why there were so many characters.
We're going to get to those on a constructives.
Okay,
Okay, Danny, go ahead.
Okay, well, I read the last draft of this, and I sort of suggested a restructure for this revision, and I think it works. You've successfully cut out all of the boring parts and made all of the parts the interesting parts. Good job.
Hooray! Thank you.
You also have 9 pages. That's a constructive. Damn it. All right. Okay, moving on.
It should be 8.
Yeah, well, you have 9.
Because you've got the label one.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, frick.
John.
So okay, I thought it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy the meta comedy thing. I tend to enjoy when that comes up. So I thought that was a lot of fun. one of the things that I do as a writer when I submit pages is I look for whether or not how people react to certain things. So, which you kind of commented on as we were reading through. So, if you are happy with the reactions at the moment when you read them, then I would say you did what you wanted to do. Like if that's the reaction that you wanted, then good on you for bringing that out. So that was cool. I thought the whole creepy house thing was kind of cool, like playing onto the whole haunted house motif as well as everything else you were doing. So overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Right, moving on to constructives, Preston.
All right. I think, and in part, it's because I'm guessing you need the story to be shorter to fit in the anthology.
As the editor of that anthology, I will definitely have a comment about that.
Yeah, I think you could honestly like do less with the story within the story and spend more time to the pitch man, where just the people are reviewing the things and go, okay, on this page here, and then you can use that as a cut that the audience knows, okay, now we're going within the story and we see the thing, and then they can come out and then go, we have some notes about that or some thoughts or whatever. That way you can more efficiently move between the worlds and cut down on your length. Diane.
I think there was a little too many characters, and like Anne, you could really relegate her dialogue to just Melissa.
I mean, really, it could just be one person with him that eats him.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's a little too many characters, but there is some snappy dialogue in there, so I'll give it that. I'm not sure. It just kind of ends. It just, I assume that there's more to this.
Well, no, it's a story in an anthology.
So is it the end? That was the
end?
That
was a short horror story, and the protagonist dies at the end. It's a short horror story.
Was the end.
Okay.
There will be no sequels.
Okay.
Or I mean, possibly.
Yeah. Hey, never say never in this business, pal.
There you go. Yeah.
It just kind of ends. It reminds me
of
but you know what it kind of also reminds me of? Like, as I was reading this, I actually had flashbacks to my watching, Saturday morning cartoon PSAs where Michelangelo will come out. It's like, dude, drugs are not cool. Things like that. And then Garfield comes out. It's just like, why are you taking marijuana? I'm like, Garfield just said marijuana, man. But it just kind of like, it was, I remember being like very bizarre out.
How bizarre?
The Muppet Babies came out and talked about drugs, man. That's just weird.
It was the 80s. Like, you'd have like G.I. Joe doing it.
Yes, I think it was called like
every video game in
an
arcade
called like Cartoon All Stars.
PSA.
Yeah, I think it was called Cartoon. I think the Nostalgia Critic ended up doing a review on it, but I vividly remember that because I recorded it off the TV and watched it a great deal, because it was all my favorite characters in one place. But yes, it was a drug PSA, and it was weird and remarkably funny. And as an adult looking back, it's probably more funny now.
Okay, so yeah, you got 9 pages. The number is wrong.
Okay.
Normally, I would tell you that you should actually expand this to 10, and I might still be convinced to let you do that.
I'm gonna go.
But this would still be better if it were 8.
Yeah, I agree with it on being.
I agree with Diane that you have slightly too many characters. I don't think you need more than one character in there, but you don't need 4 people in the gang. Like 3 is plenty.
Mm-hmm.
There could be lots of snappy dialogue. And also, yeah, I'd like to see a little bit of a cutback to the boardroom somewhere in the middle, especially, before he smokes the pod is actually a good time to do that because you have a time jump anyways. So that's my suggestion. If you were to expand it, weirdly, I would actually consider expanding the end of it and have like a bit of a chase through the office building, because that could be a lot of fun.
That could
And
be.
you have a parallel ending structure of like a chase through the mansion and then a chase through the building. So that could be really cool. Some of your pages have slightly too many panels in them.
Okay.
I get a little bit overstuffed, but we were discussing that live. And some of your dialogue's a bit first drafty and can be tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is still a substantially better outing, and there's more there than not there. So I'm happy with this revision. Yay!
It was
right,
it was
Ron.
reading it out loud definitely worked again, because I realized that I used that uninvited joke twice, and it would only work one time
It's
near the
John's
beginning.
turn to say things about you, and then you can talk.
Go ahead, John.
I didn't really have anything. I want to agree with the character thing, because it was a little hard to keep them all straight. And I don't really know if they do anything or have any impact on the story. Like, but yeah, I really didn't have anything too much to say. I thought it was a pretty tight, well-written story. I admire people who can tell pithy and fun stories in short pages, because I have difficulty doing that.
Hey, play your cards right. We might end up inviting you to the anthology.
There you go.
All right. Now, if since John doesn't have very much to say, now you can ask us some questions about our
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I guess, is it funny? You guys laughed. I couldn't tell if you were laughing at it, as in haha, or oh my god, this sucks, haha.
What's the difference? I mean, why? I mean,
Exactly.
aren't they both good things?
No. One of them is that I have purposely manipulated you into feeling joy, and the other one is not that.
But I'm still
I-
enjoying
I
myself.
thought the squirting of blood was funny as shit.
Yeah. That was, I think, your best seller.
Yeah, I think that one, and licking the joint and smoking someone, that was funny.
Yeah.
It would be really funny if it was also a finger. You chop that finger off and smoke that thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, yeah, cutting straight from the thing to the boardroom is actually fun. Like, oh, hey, this is a PSA. Like the line, "The price for a drug-free America" still gets me.
Yeah, that was good.
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Okay. That one will
So,
stay
yeah,
in
if
the
you
final
change that
revision
line, I
for
will
sure.
fight you.
I'm keeping it the same.
In that case, I won't fight you. John?
I don't really have anything.
Well, you know what I got? I got a
more
script.
scripts.
I got more scripts.
Let's fucking go.
Unfortunately, Draco's never managed to go. Okay, so
You
first
didn't
off,
hop in earlier, like
Yeah.
the Snuffleupagus to remind us he exists.
okay, so my first note I want to say is thank you so much for attempting to take my note about fade ends and fade twos. Unfortunately, by convention, the first transition in your script is left justified and it's fade in. That's the only fade in your whole script. I know it seems confusing. Just do it, okay? Your first transition, left justified, fade in. Every other transition, right justified, fade two.
And you don't need it.
And you don't need it. Except the opening fade in, many people feel that you need that there.
I feel like there's a list of like just 12 things to do every time you write a screenplay.
Yeah.
And you can Google it really easily.
Yes.
One fade in at the beginning, one fade out at the end. You don't need anything else in between.
Yes.
Somebody getting paid more than you will make that decision.
But if you did want to fade between scenes, you would do it like this, except it wouldn't be on the left, it would be on the right. Okay, there we go. I guess I'll read this.
Let's make Joseph read it. It's his first
All right,
one.
go ahead, Joseph.
Okay. Interior, Grayson House kitchen, early morning, July 4th. Sunlight filters through partially drawn blinds, casting a warm glow over a modest lived-in kitchen. The faint crackle of bacon frying on the stove mixes with the murmur of a nearby radio. A small American flag centerpiece sits on the dining table, surrounded by coffee mugs and breakfast plates. Cade Grayson, 40s, wearing a simple t shirt and jeans, stands at the counter, pouring himself a cup of coffee. His SWAT jacket hangs over a chair, the badge glinting faintly. His wife, Emily, mid-30s, moves around the kitchen, gathering travel essentials, while their daughter, Lila, 6, sits at the table, poking at a pancake with her fork.
So, you're really not coming?
Cade takes a sip, leaning against the counter, his eyes briefly meeting hers.
We talked about this. 4th of July, big rally, crowded streets. It's all hands on deck.
Emily frowns, folding a dish towel.
I know, but it's not every day that we go to visit my parents. Dad was looking forward to grilling about that.
Grilling you
about that new smoker of yours.
Tell him he's just jealous mine doesn't burn half the steak.
He has a smoker.
From the table, Leela chimes in, her voice bright.
We need to. There we go.
There you go.
And he can't make cookies like Grandma.
He can't make cookies like Grandma.
That also, no orphans, no widows and orphans. Fix that.
There's a button for that in your screenwriting software.
Your screenwriting software should be doing that automatically for you.
Someone just toggle it.
What?
Widows and orphans?
I use a typewriter. I don't know what any of this
Okay, well, you should control your widows and orphans.
Yes.
What
does that mean?
That means this is a new page.
Oh.
And we don't have who it's from.
So Lilia Grinning is a widow, and he can't make cookies as an orphan.
Right.
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay.
Kate chuckles, walking over to tousle Lisa's hair. She beams up at him, her stuffed rabbit sitting next to her plate.
Cookies, huh? I guess Grandpa's off the hook this time.
Leela giggles. Emily leans against the counter, watching them with a soft smile.
Keep going.
Interior, Grayson house, living room, moment later. Suitcases sit near the front door, neatly packed. Kate carries one outside as Emily kneels by Layla, zipping up her jacket.
Okay, sweetheart. Do a quick check. Got your rabbit? Your crayons? Leela.
Narrator muted himself.
He seems to have muted himself.
Oh, that sucks. All right. Sorry about that.
All right. Lila nods, holding up her stuffed rabbit triumphantly. Emily rises, grabbing her own bag, then turns to Cade.
You sure you'll be okay here? It's not. Hey.
Well, I wanted to unmute him.
Okay.
The guest. I can't unmute it. I can't unmute.
Yes, no, Joseph is muted.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So he's probably I know he's like out of some spare office at work.
Okay.
So he may be talking to a human.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, good, good for him. Okay.
Humans, what are those?
Okay. You sure you'll be okay here? It's not just a rally. I mean, everything going on in the news, those strange attacks.
Cade pauses, his hand resting on the suitcase. He glances at the muted TV where a headline scrolls, breaking. Violent incidents increase nationwide.
Oh, snap.
It's just media hype. You know how they blow things up on holidays. I'll be fine.
He gives her a reassuring smile, but the tension in his eyes betrays him.
And orphans.
You just learned that term.
I know. And now I'm using it. So fuck yeah. Just be careful, okay?
Cade
nods, leaning in to kiss her forehead. Yes, Joseph will return presently.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
He says.
Exterior
Grayson house, driveway, continuous. The SUV's engine hums softly. Cade opens the passenger door for Emily, while Lila climbs into the back, strapping in her seatbelt. Emily slides in, watching Cade load the suitcases into the trunk. Good. Get on to reading.
Test 1, test 2.
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
We're right here as Cade closes the trunk. All right, as Cade closes the trunk,
Bloody hell.
He glances at the house. The quiet neighborhood.
The quiet neighborhood around them, the faint sound of distant fireworks carries on the breeze. He steps into the driver's seat, his expression set. Interior SUV continuous. The radio plays softly as the SUV glides down the quiet streets. Lila hums along to a cheerful tune, her stuffed rabbit perched on her lap. Daddy, do you think Grandpa will let me light fireworks?
Only if you promise not to aim for the tomato garden again.
Oh.
Emily snorts, looking out the window with a wry smile.
We're lucky your dad didn't disown you after last year.
Uh-huh.
Well, what a threat.
Cade chuckles, shaking his head. His phone buzzes on the center console. A notification flashes. Rally briefing. 0900 arrival confirmed.
Hell yeah.
His smile fades slightly as he grabs the phone and silences it. Exterior Seattle Airport morning. The SUV pulls into the terminal drop-off lane. The bustling crowd, patriotic banners, and faint fireworks set a festive scene. The Cade's sharp eyes catch subtler details. A man leaning against a pillar, coughing violently, his shirt stained. A police car speeding past with sirens wailing. Passengers muttering nervously as they glance at their phones. Interior SUV continuous. Cade watches the man by the pillar for a moment before Emily's voice breaks his focus.
Cade?
He shakes it off, stepping out to unload the luggage. Exterior terminal continuous.
Test 1, test 2. Can you all hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, go read something.
All right. Cade hands Emily her suitcase, then kneels it to Leela's level, fixing the jacket collar.
Be good for Mom, okay? And tell Grandpa I'll beat him at the grill-off next time.
You always burn the hot dogs.
That was one time.
They hug tightly, Leela's small arms around his neck. Emily watches, her expression soft but conflicted.
Call me when you're home, okay?
I will. But you'll be on an airplane, so you probably won't get it.
Emily gives him a quick kiss before guiding Leela into the terminal. Cade watches them disappear, his hands still resting on the handle of the truck.
Dun dun dun.
Interior SUV, moments later. Cade sits in silence, gripping the wheel. His eyes drift to the photo taped to the dashboard. Emily, Leela, and Jason, his late son. The faint crackle of the radio pulls him from the thoughts.
Reports of escalating violence. Authorities are urging.
He switches the station, but unease lingers. Outside, the man by the pillar stumbles, falling to his knees. Cade starts the engine, pulling away. Exterior, highway, continuous. The city skyline rises in the distance, its festive air clashing with subtle signs of chaos. Emergency vehicles speeding through traffic, fireworks popping faintly over neighborhoods, and scattered pedestrians moving erratically. Cade's phone buzzes again. A text flashes. Rally briefing, see you soon. He sighs, gripping the wheel as his expression hardens. Exterior, downtown Seattle, outside the rally venue, morning. The rally venue is a sprawling plaza surrounded by barricades and teeming with security personnel. The American flag hangs prominently over the stage, flanked by banners reading, "A Brighter Tomorrow," Senator Walsh's Independence Day rally. Spectators begin to gather behind the...
Is it Pioneer Square?
Sorry, what?
Is it Pioneer Square? Is this guy wrecking downtown?
Probably. Spectators begin to gather behind the barricade, waving flags and taking photos. Vendors set up carts selling food, drinks, and patriotic merchandise. Police officers patrol the perimeter, scanning the growing crowd. Interior, command tent, continuous. A small makeshift command center is set up just outside the venue. Inside, monitors display live feeds from security cameras placed throughout the plaza. A map of the rally area marked with emergency routes dominates the wall. Cade Grayson enters, his SWAT gear now fully on. He adjusts his tactical vest, his expression all business. Around him, officers and agents from multiple agencies move with purpose, prepping for the event. Cade approaches his second in command, Officer Reynolds, 30s, a sharp-eyed, eager officer scrolling through a tablet.
How's it looking?
So far, so good. Crowd is light for now. No flagged individuals on the entry scans, but
Renault pauses, hesitating.
But
we've had a couple of strange reports from patrols near Pike Place. Some guy attacking a street vendor bit him.
Reynolds pulled up grainy footage on a tablet. It shows a man staggering through a crowded street, blood dripping from his mouth. People scatter, but the man doesn't chase them. Instead, he collapses to the ground, convulsing violently.
drunk or high?
That's what we thought, but we had 2 more reports like this in the last hour. Same behavior, no drugs found at the scene.
Did they do a blood test?
Oh, that
Cade
wasn't
watches the footage again, his jaw tightening.
Send a couple
Send a-
units to lock the area down.
My line.
I don't want this turning into a PR nightmare.
That's my line.
You know how Preston gets at the end of the night? He's just going to read for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Reynolds nods and steps away, leaving Cade to
Oh,
stare
why
at the
not,
screen.
Cade?
No,
Oh my god.
Reynolds.
I'm Reynolds. I'm sorry.
Leaving Cade to stare at the screen, the man on the footage stops convulsing, then suddenly jerks upright, his eyes wide and bloodshot. The feed freezes on his distorted face. Exterior plaza. Moments later, Cade steps out of the command tent, scanning the plaza with a practiced eye. The crowd has gone thicker, laughter and conversation filling the air. Fireworks crackle faintly in the distance. He approaches a group of SWAT officers standing near the barricades.
Stay sharp. The senator's due in an hour, and we don't need any surprises. Keep an eye out for anyone getting too close to the stage.
The officers nod, adjusting their gear. Cade moves on, his gaze drifting toward the edge of the crowd. Near a hot dog stand, a man leans heavily against a post, his face pale and slick with sweat. He coughs violently, blood splattering onto the pavement. People nearby recoil, some pulling out their phones to record. Cade's instincts kick in. He strides over, his hand resting on the grip of his holstered sidearm.
Sir, are you all right?
The man doesn't respond, his body trembling. Cade reaches for his radio.
Medical team to my location. We've got a...
Before he can finish, the man lunges at a bystander, a woman holding a small child. The crowd erupts in screams, people scattering as the man claws at the woman. Cade draws his weapon, his voice booming.
Stop! Seattle PD!
The man ignores him, his teeth snapping dangerously close to the woman's face. Cade rushes forward, grabbing the man and forcing him to the ground. Exterior plaza, ground level, continuous. The man writhes beneath Cade, growling like an animal. His skin is ashen, his veins dark and bulging. Cade's grip tightens, the man bucks wildly, his strength unnatural. Nearby officers rush to help, pinning the man down as Cade pulls a set of flex cuffs from his belt.
Get him restrained, now!
The man suddenly lets out a piercing, inhuman scream that freezes everyone in their tracks. Cade flinches, his heart pounding as the sound cuts through the chaos. From the corner of his eye, he sees another figure stumbling toward the barricade. A woman, her head twitching unnaturally. Blood drips from her mouth as she lets out the same haunting scream.
Clear the area! Get civilians back!
The crowd pushes against the barricades, panic spreading like wildfire. Cade glances at the restrained man, whose eyes roll back before his body goes limp. A chilling silence falls over the scene, broken only by the distant sound of sirens. Interior command tent, moments later. Cade storms back into the tent, his adrenaline still surging. Reynolds looks up, alarmed.
What the hell happened out there?
We've got a problem.
He motions to the monitors, where live feed shows the crowd dispersing in chaos. In the background of one feed, more figures stumble into the frame, their movements jerky and unnatural.
Call it in. Lock down the rally.
Reynolds hesitates, his hand hovering over the radio.
You sure that'll send the wrong message?
Do it now.
Reynolds nods, flipping the emergency channel. Cade stares at the monitors, his expression hardening as his fist hits. At the first hints of the outbreak take hold. Exterior, plaza, late morning. The rally area is in chaos. Civilians scream and push against the barricades, desperate to escape. A line of SWAT officers hold the perimeter, trying to control the growing panic. Cade stands near the stage, his radio crackling with frantic reports. Around him, officers restrain two more infected individuals, their guttural growls and unnatural strength making a struggle.
Command, we need backup. Multiple hostiles near the south barricade. Can't hold them much longer.
Cade's jaw tightens as he scans the plaza. Near the south barricade, several infected push through the thinning crowd. Their jerky, uncoordinated movements eerily fast. One of them tackles a civilian, blood spraying as it tears into their neck.
Reynolds, get more units to the south barricade now.
He turns to a nearby officer, yelling over the noise.
Start evacuating non-essentials. Get medics on standby. This is going south fast.
The officer nods, rushing off. Cade pulls his pistol, moving toward the barricades. Exterior, south barricade, moments later. The scene is chaos. A SWAT officer fires a beanbag round into the infected man, charging the line, but it barely slows him down. Another infected latches onto an officer, its teeth sinking into their arm. The officer screams, trying to pull away. Cade arrives, immediately firing 2 shots into the infected, attacking the officer. The infected collapses, unmoving.
Get to the medics now.
Okay, that's 10 pages.
And that was awesome.
Isn't that 10 pages?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
10
with 10
pages.
pages.
Is there a? No, there is not.
See-
Yeah, that's 10 pages. Okay.
See, when you don't have any passives and
Yeah.
everything is written cleanly and neatly and tightly, 10 pages just flies right by.
Yeah, that was like a dramatic improvement, I want to say, since
Yeah.
prior scripts I've seen from. So I like to think we played at least some role in that. So good job.
Yay!
Yay. That was much better.
I like that.
Yeah,
That was really
I
nice.
think,
Nice action, really
yeah.
crisp.
You go
dialogue.
and if you ever submit scripts to like screenplay contests or stuff, I think you'll get dramatically better scores with your new writing style as opposed to how you used to do it. So good job. Getting better, presenting better stuff. We have a zombie story.
Zombie vampires.
Zombie was undead, some kind of infected who are, I mean, it's kind of zombie. Like you don't normally
have
see
fans, though.
vampires in like an outbreak setting where people like crowd control and mindless mobs.
Excuse me, Omega Man.
Oh, come on.
Those are zombies. Those aren't vampires.
Those are vampires.
The NES game?
Huh?
The NES game? Where you played the blue guy?
No, I'm talking about like the Omega Man.
I'm kidding.
I
I
said-
know.
Don't do that to me.
Oh.
That's
All
it.
Anyway,
Yeah, this is a vast improvement.
yeah.
I cared about all of your main characters.
Yay!
Yeah.
Look at that.
And
Danny
it's
got
all
emotion.
your fault.
Danny got emotion. Yay!
Yeah.
I have emotion.
Well, let's not go too far with that. Let's,
I do. I'm a deeply sensitive individual. Just,
Let's
you
keep
know,
this
as
restrained,
a
you know?
writer, it's your job to make me care. In this case, Draco did so successfully.
Yay!
John?
No, I liked it. I thought it was much better. The foreshadowing of the zombie thing was much better. The character establishing the story reason for why he's not going with them was there. I know that was one of our big comments before. So that was there. The relationship dynamics was there. Yeah, like everything was here. Everything made sense within the world that you presented, and characters acted the way that one would think they would act in that setting.
Joseph?
This was very fun to read. Not just because I was the one reading it out loud, but I was like genuinely captivated and hooked into the story.
I really
because
like.
of the way it was written. So you
Yeah.
have a very distinct writing style. I will say I read a lot of, people send me a lot of screenplays,
Mm.
and this is the first one in a long time I've read that felt like a real movie.
Oh, yeah. I also like the way that Joseph read it. It actually sounds like an audiobook. So,
Constructives. I don't know that had much. I mean, it introduced characters and the crisis, so great,
Yeah, it's fine. Reminds me of Robert Matheson's Omega Man.
I'm sure
I Am Legend /
Danny has some.
Danny does.
Danny does. Go ahead.
Shut up, John. Okay, so have you seen this like independent movie called Jaws? It's also about a big 4th of July event.
Sure.
Yeah, the book was better.
Yeah, sure. There's this really cool part at the beginning of the movie where the professionals actually have to deal with the representatives of the general public in a dialogue. And I noticed the last 6 pages of your script essentially had 2 speaking characters. Where's their boss? Where's the FBI? Where's the fucking senator? Where's the mayor? Where is anybody to be like, why do we should shut this down? We shouldn't shut this down. So like, yeah, you successfully built tension. It's a zombie movie. You're allowed to get away with some of this stuff, but like the comedy of errors or unavoidable problems that coming from a big event, this sort of leads to this sort of thing becoming a massive panic and outbreak in which people get trampled, is never really going to be able to be there if you only got one speaking character. Like, as far as we're aware, Cade Grayson, who's only ever described using both of his names, seems to be the leader of the SWAT team, but like that's just because no one else talks. But he's also going out on the street, like fighting people. So, if he cares about people only while he's wearing a badge, cool. Because he wasn't wearing one when he saw someone fucking collapse at the airport. He just drove away from them. Although this was nowhere near as egregious as the he gets a parking spot scene from like last week. The parking lot is in chaos. He parks. So you avoided most of that. But like, obviously in a situation like this, the infection is going to spread on its own, but you've got to show people trying to react to it or control it, or someone trying to shut it down and be like, no, the senator just flew in from Albuquerque. He can't leave now. He's about to speak in 5 minutes. Our fireworks are about to go off. They're going to take an hour to disassemble anyways. You police aren't going anywhere while we have explosives in the middle of the city. Like something. Give us anything to really show this, like, going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Or set up the explosives, or the senator's hot daughter who's been flirting with him, who's going to turn into a horrible zombie and try and bite his dick off, or whatever the hell happens next. You're missing opportunities, is what I'm saying.
John, you wrote a zombie story. You must have lots of stuff.
I guess
you must have a non-zero amount of stuff. Sorry, that was a statement, not a question. Yeah.
All right. I do kind of agree with Danny. There does seem to be a shortage of people when the outbreak happens. Usually, like, whoever the commander is going to be the one in the command tent issuing orders. He could be a field commander, which would put him in the fray, which is most likely where you want him, since he's the main character. So then, yeah, you need to have somebody else who's kind of in the control center yelling on the radio, what the hell's going on? That sort of a thing. And is there, and I guess this, and maybe it's coming later unless it's not part of the the plot that if it's not part of the story you're trying to tell specifically. But I guess who is patient zero and how does that person fit into this story? You know, did they have a bad case of bat soup and that's what started it? You know, like I kind of feel like that could be, you don't need to have patient zero in the actual story, because not a lot of zombie stories don't even include that. So, but it would be kind of
like
nice.
The original Night of the Living Dead, I think just it has a zombie outbreak, but then there's like news reports during the crisis of, I don't know, like what was it?
It was a radio.
Yeah, the radio. There was some
the
reports
radio.
of
They're
like,
saying,
I don't know, like alien or like
like no one knows.
something's happening. There's a panic.
Yeah.
There's rioters.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. So he's gonna explain it. Yeah, he'll explain.
Yeah. So as I said, I don't really have that too many comments. But I do kind of agree with Danny that I feel like you need more characters. I don't know if you necessarily, unless you're going to do something with them, I don't think introducing like the senator is that important unless he's going to be a character later. If he's supposed to be a character in this story, then hell yes, he needs to be there, because that also is going to raise your stakes too. You know, because again, like, let's say he's a senator, but he's running for president. So now it's going to be SWAT plus Secret Service. There you go to Danny's idea about conflict with other agencies. What if he's running for president? The Secret Service are going to be swarming the place with Seattle SWAT. They're going to have butt heads because the Secret Service is going to be like trumping everybody. And then, you know, maybe he's rolling up with his motorcade when all of this goes down. So now they're trying to protect the senator while they're trying to do that and the other thing, or you know, something along those lines. Or like, you know, Danny said about the senator's hot daughter. So maybe the senator's hot daughter is missing, and he has to, and his boss tells him to go do grunt work and go find her or something. And he finds her just as, you know, like she ends up being a zombie and biting the dick off of somebody.
Sounds like a John Lamont.
Sounds like a John Lamont.
Definitely is.
Honestly,
very much
it's a
going
zombie
with the tone of
movie.
this
Like,
movie.
lead
Yes,
into it.
totally.
But I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, that kind of also puts him in the fray and also creates other conflict too. You know, maybe he's hoping that his whatever can impress his boss because he's up for a promotion, and then his boss gives him this shit run of trying to go hunt down the senator's daughter, at which now he's like, oh crap, now I gotta go do this thing. And then of course he stumbles into it. That, I don't know, I'm just spitballing ideas, but
maybe the hot daughter is actually his hot son who looks like his dead son. You've got a lot of places you can go here.
Anyway,
you've got to protect him from some other zombie, and then suddenly it's an escort mission.
But the hot daughter really was the dead son who turned into a girl because of alchemy, and the alchemy is what caused the zombie outbreak.
Definitely also that. Those fucking alchemists. Seriously, man, all of that saltpeter smells so foul. I don't care how valuable it is to turn lead into gold. Get them out of my basement.
There you go.
Draco, you posted just now about how you explain everything in the next 10 pages. You're really good at explaining things. Please don't, because when you don't explain things and actually just show us things like you did here, you write much better. Like you have to develop a story with an intro like this. We know where it's all going, but you're allowed to start slow. You need to really develop the conflict, whatever it is, with people. There needs to be a real conflict, whatever it is, with people that then gets complicated by the zombies, or else this isn't really a good story. But, you know, once you've done that, you've got another 10 pages or so to, like, make the conflict more intense. Then take a break as you get into Act 2. But you need to really set up Act 1 without giving us an info dump. So don't give us an info dump. Give us more stuff like this.
And a lot of times these zombie stories, there's always different characters that have different agendas and motivations. Like, where's the asshole character? The one that's only in it for himself, who's going to
There's
end
the
up
gang of
sacrificing.
protesters at the rally. Like, all of these people, yeah.
It is Seattle, which is where I live. There would be more protesters than
At any
supporters.
rally.
For any politician, I would add.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
genuinely acting.
Yeah, like
not
someone
being
needs to have a
sarcastic.
free Mumia sign, no matter what kind of rally it is.
Well, I mean, like, you could also like get rid of any of this authority figures by saying like, I can't get a hold of this, I can't get a hold of this person, and it's like we're on our own, and then you could just like do it like that.
You could.
You can just completely ignore those characters whatsoever.
But this
I feel
doesn't
like
just
I
feel like
need
a living
to-
world.
I feel like I need to read the whole thing in order to give you any real constructive feedback on this.
Fair
So the highest compliment that I could possibly
That's
give
not
you
true,
is that
Joseph.
I want to read the rest of this.
Sure.
Which
give
is like the
feedback on
nicest
what you-
thing I could
on what
possibly
you
say.
haven't read.
I will say though, however, at this part, it does feel the main character is just a little bit of a generic good guy. And to add on what everyone here is saying, if you add in some conflict about either his workplace or just add some other character, let's see where he's at in his workplace. Is he not where he wants to be? Does he look down on his boss thinking he should be in that leadership position? Just give me something in terms of where he is at in his life before this disaster happens.
All right. I think that those are all the scripts we have this time. Next time, I hope to have some pages myself. I got
Me too.
distracted with the movie Rough Cut coming in, and I wanted notes on that real fast. And so I gave some. And hooray. Hopefully, it'll be coming to a theater real soon. Yay.
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 Well, Joseph, hopefully you found this to be a worthwhile exercise.
Indeed.
Hell yeah, I know what to do for my next draft.
Yay! I can't wait to read it.
And come back.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Good night.